It never fails to amaze me. My very first playoff game I get into in my first game of the day for college football 25, and I'm stuck on basically the loading into the game screen. And I've been here for about 8 minutes. So basically, I gotta just dashboard and restart. So let's see if I end up taking a loss in my first game of the day trying to load in to my first playoff match. This happens every single time. Every time I get to the playoffs, not only do I have to face either Alabama all the way through or Alabama and Ohio State all the way through, but every time I get into a playoff match, I would end up having this issue where I'm stuck in the loading screen and I have to dashboard and load back up, and then it says I disconnected from the game and I get a loss and I have to restart my season. And I hate when this happens, so let's see if it glitched me out and I end up getting a loss. So there's the servers and it looks like I didn't get it. A loss. Let's just refresh it just to make sure that I didn't get a loss. So your previous game is still being processed. Well, let's see if I can get into another match and just see if it loads me through. As always, I'm going to use Kentucky, and hopefully we can get a breakdown video. No clue why, because it took me literally 20 seconds to get in the match against a Texas user. Let's go ahead and back out. And yep, still being processed. So I guess I'm just going to wait all day to get in the game now. This is ridiculous, man. Let's try one more time and see what happens. Oh, we got into the game. And we're facing Kansas. So let's go ahead and see how this game plays out. And we're going to be breaking down this match. So basically, I want you guys to literally pay attention to what my opponent does on defense and offense, because literally everybody plays exactly how this guy plays. They have like a few plays or the same plays, and they're just going to stick with it. So right here, starting off the bat, my opponent's running cover 3. I switched to 4 verticals. What I want to do is see who he likes to user and bait his user. So I want him to be baited away from playing the tight end. I'm a road to the right because I have an in route ran by my running back that's supposed to go to the right side. Unfortunately, my running back gets caught up, and I do bait my opponent away from playing that tight end, which leaves my tight end wide open. So the first drive, I'm just testing out once again what my opponent likes to do, and he literally sits in cover 3 the entire drive. So I'm just flipping through random plays, picking random plays out of different formations I'm flipping to, and seeing what he likes to do. So another thing, when you do flip plays like this goes back to a couple videos ago where I showcase that my opponent liked to do coaching adjustments when you're matching your best receivers with, or your best DBs based off the best receiver overall, depth chart, size, speed, whatever the case may be, based off what people want to do. Now, I go to 4 verticals, I flip the formation to another different type of formation, and look at the left cornerback. He's going to end up being manned up with, I guess, the running back, and then the left linebacker was manned up with triangle. This leaves circle and X an option for the user to play. So I'm guessing my opponent had to stick with circle, which leaves the tight end crossing the field wide open. So this is another way to kind of break people's habits of doing coaching adjustments, which I personally never do. Now, this was an option play. I should have handed it off because the DN stayed, but he was so far wide out. I just kept the ball with the quarterback because I can just run right behind my running back as an extra blocker, and that's what happens. I end up scoring. So that was the first possession, and it showed me that my opponent's defense is absolutely terrible. Now here is his offense. Now I literally shifted my defensive line to the left side because I know for a fact that my opponent's going to run the ball. And what does he do? He is flipping the run play from the right to the left. Like I said in my previous video, why do people do this? You know I'm shifting my players to the side you're running, and yet people still run to that side. Like, why? Do you guys not see more people going to that side? Now, this formation, I want you guys to pay attention because he ends up running it again. Now, I basically just ran zone coverage, and this was just an RPO play. So it was two receivers on the right, tight end, and a receiver on the left side, running back on the right. Now, when he runs this formation again, he runs the play again, but watch what I do differently. Now, he ends up picking up because I ran zone coverage. So remember that play. Now, right here, once again, yellow zones. I told you guys this before, how for some reason the opposite linebacker that I'm not using ends up playing my assignment. So I'm getting used to that broken zone coverage where I'm going to start switch sticking to user that player. So that's what I do here. I'm going to try to basically switch assignment roles, but stay in the lane just in case if my opponent likes to scramble out. Now, right here, he should have scrambled, right? He has all the space. I'm running away, but I'm staying within yardage just in case if he does scramble, I'm switch sticking to that linebacker that switched to my assignment to play zone coverage. So you guys see that switch stick here, and I end up playing the tight end, and I end up getting a user pick 6. So I'm going to start doing that now because how broken the zone coverage is for the hook zones. So I'm learning from my mistakes and just adapting. And look at the results that I get. When I do that, I feel like that's the best method just to stop people from scrambling, and then also switch sticking just in case they end up throwing over top like that. Once again, I am shifting my line to the heavy side, which most likely they're going to run to. And what do? They run to that side. Look at the block shot I got, right? Based off abilities, but still yet, he does get a few yards, but I don't know why people play like that. Now, you guys seen what I've done. I went to cover 1. This is the same formation that he ran that RPO play. When you run man defense, it stops the RPOs. So in this case, look what happens. Runs an RPO to the opposite side. And look, he gets stuffed. That's the simple adjustment. Now, at this point, he has nothing else to go to, right? So now he's going into his panic scheme, which is 5 wide. And this is where I told you guys I'd just simply play cover 4, make slight adjustments based off what my opponent does. So I'm just basically in base cover 4. You guys see the hook zones glitching out once again. But given enough time, he's going to try to hit that crossing route going to the place where I'm supposed to be. So unfortunately right here I got pressure, and this could possibly been picked because my purple zone playing correctly. Just depends what would have happened if he got that off, and if he end up directing the pass more left than right. Now he ends up doing the same thing. I'm not doing nothing special now. The slot tight end on the right side does get open, but he doesn't see that clearly, and I stick with the tight end this time, or the very inside receiver this time, and I end up getting pressure. I start to send my linebacker to get extra pressure just in case he takes off, and he gets there barely. Now if he didn't get there in time, he probably would have had a big play right there. 4th and 14, you guys see slight adjustments I do. I just end up manning up the slot receiver on the left, QB spying my left linebacker, and I'm just going to use her anything in the middle of the field. Now I do end up switch sticking eventually. You guys will see that later on. Once again, I was able to get pressure, fortunately. So I got very lucky. Had one-on-one matchup with my best lineman with all the abilities. Able to get pressure, disrupt the pass, so he didn't have any time. Back on offense, once again, he's doing the same thing. Now, I end up just flipping the formation. Basically, the running back's just going over to the right, and I'm doing 4 verticals, and you guys see that the defense adjusts, but still cover 3 look. And all I'm going to be doing is seeing what he likes to use her. Same linebacker. This time he's going to fully stick with the tight end. And I'm just going to dump it off to the running back. And this is an easy walk-in touchdown. Untouched, because he don't like to switch to user tackle. Simple. Now, back on defense. So, this time, I end up manning up my linebacker that I was using on the right side with the slot receiver on the right. I man up the slot receiver on the left, QB spy the left linebacker, and pretty much I'm just going to cover the tight end because nobody's going to be covering him, which is the very inside receiver on the right side. And look how beautiful that looks. It's pretty much clamped up, but he makes a play out of nothing, gets the broken ability sack, and picks up yards. So, I went back to base cover 4, no adjustments, and this time I switched stick. Like I told you guys earlier, I was going to switch stick on this, and for some reason the left receiver ran a deeper route, which caused pretty much a blockade, and I should have got pass interference on this, but they didn't call it, and that disrupts the timing of it. He has to break away, and he ends up running out and testing my user. So that was just a blind read by him. I don't know what he saw. I guess he thought he was open. So basically after that, he just rage quits. So guys, this was pretty much the easiest playoff match I have ever faced in the first playoff match heading into playoffs. Thank God we ended up getting that win and not getting a loss with that glitching that was happening earlier. So we were very fortunate, and very fortunate we faced this terrible player, because usually I'm facing, Alabama for once, and I'm playing somebody that's decently good, but they get a lot of BS that happens. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Continuing on, as I'm going to be breaking down every single match as always, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.